said. And also, after the show, we'll give links on where you can catch up to us online, see rebroadcast, etc. But now, I want to go into this news, man. It's not a happy story. It's not a sad story. It's just kind of one of those WTFs, man. Because Marvel's releasing a new title, a new miniseries in this fall coming up called, the Venom-verse. Now, my thing is that akin to, like, they did the Spider-Verse not too long ago with, like, every Spider-Man across every genre.
Because one Spider-Man isn't enough.
One Spider-Man.
Especially not one Venom now is not enough. Venom.
Well, okay, yeah, so Venom getting, like, a big push.
You've been inoculated.
This is comics.
Okay.
But Spider-Verse itself was a comic, too, but was covering the Spider-Man from the cartoon series, Spider-Man from the comics, every variation of the comics, including the Ultimate Universe, the Japanese Universe, the Megaverse, including the Spider-Man from Hostess Fruit Pies back in the 70s.
Wow.
No, they've done like crossovers with like dimensions and stuff. This guy meets this guy. Miles Morales meets Peter Parker. It's a big thing. This was every Spider-Man.
Technically, those two live in the
dimensions.
same universe anyway.
They do now. They didn't always. But the thing with that was it was one storyline. Also, if they're doing like, hey, the TV Spider-Man, you remember kids you loved, yet it was like the goriest story I've ever read in comics. Like people being eaten on panel by cannibals. And just like, I'm like, yo, this is Spider-Man. Don't you market this to 7-year-olds?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Maybe stepping a little too far. Who knows?
Well, anyway, sorry. That was a bit of a tangent. What I'm getting at is that level of of saturation with one character and creating an entire universe because you like Spider-Man. You like him in this book. You like him in that book. But we're giving you every different one. I'm like,
yeah, we're going to force it down your throats until you really dislike him.
Yeah, well, does saturation of a character like this, like, devalue it? Does it cheapen it? Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you can get sick of stuff. I mean, have you ever eaten the same food for like 3 weeks straight? You probably you need a break after. That's how I kind of see it. You know what I mean?
Sorry, dude. I just really like Marshmallow Peeps.
Right? I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, it's like anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get sick of superhero stuff. As it is now, there's so much. That's pretty much all that's getting produced.
I mean, but at the same time, to play devil's advocate here, I mean, it could be a good entry point for folks who aren't into superheroes or anything that's related to it. So it could be a good entry point for them.
Well, true. Pause before we have that rebuttal. I just want to point out how much I love the fact that the priest is playing devil's advocate. All right, continue. Sorry.
Dum.
All right, but no. You make a good point, but my point is, I'm with Adam on this. It's like they take every opportunity, and by they I mean general, publishing houses or
the money makers.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they always do
a
stuff
character
like
gets popular
this,
and they go nuts.
But they can do stuff to get you interested. I see what you're saying. Like, it's a good entry point probably, but it's also just like, okay, part of being into like comic books or being into anything is getting a taste for it and then seeking it out.
Yeah.
Not just having here, okay, you bludgeoned with it all right, right away. So I think like giving them a sample, something like of quality, and then having them be like, okay, you like that, try this, and then you follow the breadcrumbs that way. That's how I would probably. That's how I enjoyed pretty much every piece of entertainment I've ever followed.
What I think is eventually it causes a loss of respect for the medium.
Yeah.
Like look at perfect example I think is Austin Powers. When Austin Powers came out, it kind of caused the
it's a good reference,
resurgence of 60s culture, man, mob music and the style and all this stuff. It's great.
So all these old references, and
yeah. And the thing is, like, it brought back, like, people were dressing differently. Music was like the old covers of all these old 60s songs that have been around forever.
There's
access them whenever
there's
you want.
a Beyond the Valley of the Dolls reference in the first Austin Powers.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Like that carried over into freaking kids movies and stuff. I was hearing baby on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm like, that's what no.
You was watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, man?
That's how
you goddamn right I was, brother. I'm sorry.
He's like 28 years old watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Exactly. And Clarissa has
28 years old.
I mean, I was watching Clarissa when I was 15, but
so was I, brother. Hey, man, long-standing crush. She can get it today.
Yeah, I always like the guitar riff.
I think she's like 24 months pregnant too. Still.
Was that guitar riff whenever the ladder hits?
Sam would come in. And notice,
the only guy I know that's other last name is O'Neill too, other than Czech.
Well,
Ed O'Neill.
Shut me.
Right now,
O'Neill.
everybody's gonna start thinking of every O'Neill.
Yeah, April. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, April.
And the other April, the porn star. I mean, there's so many ways to go.
There is. We shouldn't.
We shouldn't say that for later.
PG-13.
Roddy Piper does not approve.
No.
The Macho King does.
The Macho King. Ooh, yeah. What do you think of that ass? Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. No, what I'm getting at is you introduce these things and they're cool. You keep force feeding people them, and it desensitizes you to them. It loses nothing. It's like saying a single word over and over again. You know, it loses all meaning, loses all.
You think
value.
it's worse now too than it used to be? Because I think it's with the internet, everything's just like layered on real thick. You know what I mean? You can avoid it, but only if you like stay in your room and remove your phone.
Is this any worse than any of the other hokey gimmicks that comics have used over the years? Have we forgotten the rainbow bat suit?
No, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the particular project. I'm talking about is it worse nowadays?
It's much
in
worse
2017 than it is when it was, when Austin Powers came out in '97.
Here's my point of view, which is kind of a unique point of view, maybe not just to me, but definitely to us in this room. If you're aware of media through history, it hasn't been done often until recently. Yeah. But the fact that it has been done before the internet means that we basically have not learned from our mistakes.
Not at all.
The most pertinent example I can point out is friggin' Scooby-Doo. If anyone's aware of how many Scooby-Doo series there have been, in actuality,
Matt Lillard as the
there was
live action
like
version.
6 alone during my childhood. So it's like,
I mean, the regular Scooby-Doo, a pup named Scooby-Doo, the Return of Scooby-Doo, where they had a vampire friend, a vampire.
Oh
Latin
my God,
kid.
you're right.
Yeah,
and they added Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah, Scrappy-Doo, that god awful thing. There was the
or the one when his cousin was on it.
Scooby-Dum.
Yeah.
There was also the '90s return show, which didn't last long. The video game version, which brought back the '90s return show, which they forgot failed the first time. The 2000s show, which is still going now, and the series of movies that never ended. Scooby-Doo has never gone away.
There's a new reboot.
Scooby-Doo has never gone away.
It's never gone away, and it's never been good. Never.
It'll never go away.
Remember in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when they have the mystery machine right there, and they all get baked in the back of it, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Scooby snacks. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, they all.
I mean, somebody had to be getting behind the mystery machine. I mean, Shaggy and Scooby weren't that hungry for no reason.
Even in the movies, they allude to it, but they're like, we know what you're all thinking. We're thinking.
Yeah.
Was it Casey Kasem did the voice too?
He did.
Yeah. Well, I think that was never truer than on an episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast when they showed the police cam video and then you hear Shaggy.
That's a show.
You know what just dawned on me, Scooby.
I remember that. Did you ever see the parody of them on Venture Brothers 2? Where it's really fucked up and Shaggy is schizophrenic, which is why he can hear Scooby talking to him all the time, and he keeps giving Scooby snacks, which is his medication.
Yeah,
I actually had a beer with James Urbaniak once.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Damn.
He was wearing a polka dot shirt.
He told me secrets. Nah, he was wearing polka dots. Yeah, it was straight comment. All right, but okay, that's the perfect example that we all have seen these different versions of Scooby-Doo. Does any of that make you like Scooby-Doo anymore?
No, but I don't like it any less either.
I personally can't stand it because I've seen it start off as this simple 60s show. These weird kids. You wonder, don't you all have jobs or homes or families and stuff?
No, they were supposed to be teenagers.
But then they meet in the Globetrotters. They're solving crimes with Phyllis
Diller. It wasn't until the series during the
part of the Scooby
late 90s, early aughts that they were supposed to be young professionals. Before that, they weren't older than 18.
Okay, these there was no trust funds involved here.
They were just small
town
kids.
Fred definitely could have had a trust fund.
Probably 2-parent homes, and they were probably middle class, and so their parents could break them off chain.
I just don't. I don't want to actually have to assume all that either. But.
I mean, it's actually very cult-like activity.
It was a group of.
I think
I'm sorry, it's a group of white kids who drive around in a van. I assume they came from a middle class family. If it was the 60s.
In the 60s?
Yeah.
They lived near. You know, they were just
they were hippies.
Hippies were the children. Most hippies were the children of middle class.
They were on a cross-country traveling
that their parents
tour,
turned.
That's what they were. That bus had shag carpeting.
Not all of them.
Of course not. But
some of them just decided to be a hippie, and their parents didn't get it, so off they went.
That's a whole
the mystery machine. The mystery was syphilis.
Possibly.
What I'm getting at is though force feeding all of these is basically just gonna create disdain over time. I think, and Venom is a property that I liked when it was just a simple Spider-Man villain who knew a little too much about him. You know, that made him a villain with intrigue. That was like Bane. We've never seen this dude, and he studied Batman. He knows all the tricks. Oh, he knows how to get him.
My whole thing is this, Pete, and I hear you, but at some point, we can. All I'm saying is at some point, you really could just opt out of it.
Fair enough.
So for me, I'm just
True,
like, you
but-
know what? There's so much other good stuff out there. If you're going to try to force feed this to me, you know what? I don't got to eat it. And maybe for somebody else, it'll be a great entry point for them. But for me, I'm like, you know what? I don't got to buy what you're trying to sell me right now.
That's
Because
it.
Chris
That's what I'm
trying to make that
saying.
money.
It's easier now because
And
you have 1,000 different channels. You
Yeah,
have
and
1,000 different things.
And
You can turn it off.
besides, we all know that there is going to be a Venom movie at some point in the near future. And
Mhm.
of course, they're going to start a new series. They let them not make the same mistake Baywatch did by not doing the smart thing, by streaming their show before the movie
Doing the
came
lead up.
out.
You're right.
I don't think
Zero
that would have
lead up.
saved Baywatch,
It would have
though.
at least gotten old fans to be excited enough to go see
I think
it.
the old fans went, but there was only like 1,000 of them.
Right.
Well, where's Pam
You know what I mean? The
Anderson?
movie made
But
some
think
money,
about
but
all
not
the-
nearly
think about
enough.
all the
Bad scene
younger
of it.
people who probably
Yeah.
would have thought it was
Things have
stupid
not
enough.
gone
The
to
well,
problem
man.
was they made a
She pulled
throwaway
Jennifer
action
Grey
movie
and it went,
for
like,
$75 million.
wrong.
They could have made it for 30.
With the nose.
Didn't even
Yeah.
try.
No, they didn't. That's their problem.
That's-
All right. Well, what it comes down to is I'm against it. Adam's for it. The priest here says just say no. Thank you, my man.
I
Say
just
no to
accepted
Scoop
it.
Snacks.
I love how you finish my. This is what he meant, and then moves on before I have a retort. Actually,
Alright.
He's like,
You know.
Adam, your opinion is
Yeah.
not valid.
No,
Discussion
I did not mean to
is
step on your toes, my brother.
No, I don't
he
have
is
one.
stomping on him. I can
I don't have
see
any
him.
toes.
I don't have any toes.
All right. Well, if you have anything to say on this topic, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com. You can follow up and see what's good. We want to hear from you on why I'm right. Okay, so moving right in, we got a comic review. Jay and I got to check out Lobster Johnson. This is actually Lobster Johnson.
That's your nickname, right?
Played its ghost.